let's prepare to be transported into the heart of ancient Rome to witness an epic journey.
A journey marked by courage, resilience, and the pursuit of freedom.
That's right. Get ready for Casey High's very own rendition of the timeless saga, Spartacus.
Thracian Spartacus leads a fearless rebellion against the Roman Empire. In a world of suppression, inhumane violence, and savage discrimination, Spartacus weaves a story about striving for freedom.
As the play begins, sit back, relax, and let the story of Spartacus unfold.
Thank you.
Come one and all, to the Appian Way, decorated on both sides with signs of grisly punishment.
Let these not disturb you, for they start at the high road from the eternal city of Rome.
To the somewhat smaller but hardly less lovely town of Capua.
Come one and all, we are your guides and storytellers, and I shall accept whatever little you give me.
I see you are out early, and early you should be out, since that is the time for travel.
Are you on your way to Capua?
Yes, Capua.
Capua indeed. A lovely city.
A beautiful city,
A fair city.
a veritable gem of a city.
Where do you stay tonight?
Villa Salaria.
Antonius Caius's Villa Salaria, a place of taste and beauty, with over 10,000 acres of fields and woodland belonging to it. Splendid!
To visit relatives, no doubt.
No doubt, our uncle. Now, no more questions. Tell me more about this.
Uncle? What an honor, my gentle lady. And so, we are Flavius.
Mariulis,
And Maximus.
you may look at us and our poverty, not unmixed with sloth, and assume us to be nobodies.
But for years we have scavenged the Forum and the Senate. And today we're on the last step before we become beggars with nothing but a mat in the whole of Rome. Two!
You see us as guides, storytellers, small vendors of bits of punishment and justice.
Yet does the judge do any more? It is better to accept a faulty status and the shame that goes with it than to beg.
Oh, it's mine!
That belongs to me!
No!
Stop! Give it to me!
It's mine! This one is symbolic, so as to speak.
Oh, Mistress mine, do not regard it as human or horrible. Rome gives and Rome takes. And more or less, the punishment fits the crime.
This one stands alone and calls your attention to what will follow.
Between here and Capua, do you know how many?
6,472!
That much timber.
Oh, that, merely a token. A token of a token, so as to speak. Is that Spartacus?
Hardly Spartacus, my dear.
His body was never found.
Got to pieces.
Cut to pieces, my dear child.
Tender minds for such dreadful thoughts. But that's the truth of it. The simple truth.
And now they say Spartacus never even existed.
Now this one here. Take a good look at him. Fairtrax, the Gaul. A close man to Spartacus, and we watched him die.
Sitting right here, we watched him die.
It took 4 days.
Strong as an ox.
My, oh my, you would never believe such strength.
You'd be surprised how many people came out to watch. And it was something well worth watching.
It would have taken a great deal longer if they hadn't opened a vein and bled him like that.
First day, he hung up there and cursed out every decent citizen who came along to watch.
Frightful, foul language. You wouldn't want any ladies around to hear such language.
Here I was, and there he was. And now and then I'd say to him, your misfortune is my fortune.
And while yours may not be the most comfortable way to live, mine is by no means the most comfortable way to make a living.
Didn't seem to move him much one way or another.
By evening of the second day, he closed up, clammed up, tight as a trap.
Do you know what was the last thing he said?
What?
I will return and I will be millions. Just that. Fanciful, isn't it?
What did he mean?
I have no more idea than you have, young madam. And he never spoke again either.
I poked him a little the next day, but he never said a word.
Just looked at me out of those bloodshot eyes of his. Looked at me like he could kill me. But he wasn't for getting anything else.
So you see, my dear, he may not have been Spartacus, but was one of his lieutenants and a hard man.
Close to Spartacus, but not so hard.
That was a hard one, was Spartacus. You would not like to meet him along this high road. I never will neither, for he's dead and rotting.
Now, what else would you like to know?
Enough. I think we've heard enough. We must be on our way.
No! Don't throw that stone.
We must congratulate General Crassus on this great victory.
You fought the bitterest war in perhaps all of Rome's history and won, yet you take little glory out of it.
He fought against the slaves and defeated them, when the slaves had almost defeated Rome.
Are we to only talk about slaves tonight?
Why not? They are always with us, and we are the unique products of slaves and slavery. That is what makes us Romans, if you come right down to it.
What? Cicero, you're truly a philosopher. I can't agree with you, Cicero, that slaves are what make us Romans.
Did I offend you?
No one is offended here. We're a company of civilized people.
What is the essence of our lives? We are not just any people. We are the Roman people. And we are that precisely because we are the first to fully understand the use of the slave.
Yet there were slaves before there was Rome.
Indeed, there were a few here, a few there. But in Rome, it is the slave who does everything. He builds our houses, he tills our farms, he cooks our food, sews our shoes, and even nurses our children.
That's quite all right. What do you propose to do about it?
Understand them?
Why?
Because otherwise, they will destroy us.
Do you not come down the Appian way, Cicero? Do you not see the tokens of punishment?
I don't accept the simple logic of a butcher shop.
There's nothing more to this than the logic you're calling simple.
Where other people have one slave, we have 20. And now we live in a land filled with slaves. And our greatest achievement is Spartacus. Could any other nation but Rome have produced him?
It was hell that produced Spartacus, and to hell he has gone back.
All right, but Rome stands close to the edge of hell. If there is another uprising like before, Rome shall fall to pieces.
But now that the uprising has been crushed by General Crassus, these slaves can never rise up again. Would you like to see? Kneel.
Do you see?
If your pet dog suddenly ran amok and did so intelligently, is it still a dog? Hard to know.
What are you saying?
Who can stop these dogs from becoming the next Spartacus, the next uprising?
You're spewing nonsense, man.
General Crassus, what do you say?
Spartacus has been cut into pieces.
After 4 long years of war,
He has been sent back to hell.
the same hell, he's dragged 3/4 of the imperial Roman army.
Spartacus has been killed. The uprising has been crushed. If it is to ever rise again, I will be there to crush it.
General, did you know him personally? I mean, Spartacus.
Spartacus was as much of an enigma to me as he is to you. I never saw him with all the devil's dance he led me.
You never saw him?
Never did. But that doesn't mean that I didn't know him. Piece by piece, I composed him. Other people compose music or art. I composed a picture of Spartacus.
With someone's help, I presume.
Yes, the gladiator trainer of Capua, Lentulus Demetrius, was a mine of information on Spartacus. The only one, I suppose, who really knew him.
But why would you want to know Spartacus, General?
When you know a man, it is easier to defeat him.
That is exactly what I've been trying to tell everyone.
Well, congratulations then, young philosopher.
Well, what did Demetrius tell you? Tell us, won't you?
Did you meet Demetrius?
General Crassus, we're all eager to know.
Demetrius' tale is a long one. All present here may not like it.
Why don't we step out into the gardens then?
I shall take your leave as well.
Tired already.
Not tired, but I have to continue writing.
About?
About Spartacus and the hell he created on Earth.
You two
It's late, uncle.
going to bed?
No, I wish to step out into the garden and meet your new flowering shrubs. They look exceptional in the moonlight.
Crassus will not be happy for the disturbance.
Are you as slow as you look?
If there's anything I can do for you...
There's no need.
Villa Saladia, a beautiful night. Senator Gracchus is in the gardens. Antonius is with Claudia. General Crassus is recounting the story to Helena, the story of Demetrius. The slaves had torn the Roman legions to shreds, and to all effects and purposes, the slaves ruled Rome. It was then that General Crassus was given the command.
Halt! Who goes there? Is this the camp? Who asks? Lentulus Demetrius of Capua. The commander has been expecting you. I want to eat something and rest. The commander will see to that. He's a very thoughtful man.
Take his horse, water it.
Feed it and bed it down. You feed the horse first. Come along. I'm not in your damned legion. You're in a legion encampment. Fine.
Lentulus Demetrius of Capua. I imagine so.
I'm happy to meet you, sir.
You've come a long way. And very decently and very good of you too. I'm sure you're wet and hungry and tired.
I am all of that. Wet and tired.
But most of all, starved to death.
I'm grateful for you to have made this long journey at my request.
The great Commander Crassus is grateful? Sir, how can a man of your stature be grateful towards a poor pig like me? Even your lowest ranking soldiers look at me like I am an animal. What am I? A Lannister. I school and train gladiators.
Yet, for the time being, you are my guest here.
Ha! And what do I know of your enemy? For I have traveled all the way from Capua.
Firstly, there's the man, Spartacus. Tell me about him. What was he?
Only I know Spartacus. No one else. No one who ever fought Spartacus knew him. He was a koru. Do you know what that word means?
No.
It means 3 generations of slaves.
the grandson of a slave. In Egyptian, it also means a certain kind of loathsome animal, a crawling beast, a beast who is untouchable by the company of beasts. What is a gladiator? Not just a slave, you understand?
Or at least, the gladiators of Capo are not just slaves, they are special.
If you fight dogs, you do not buy house pets that are brought up by little girls. You fight men, you want men who will fight, men who hate, men with spleen. The gladiator doesn't like to fight. He fights because you give him a weapon and take off his chains. And when he has that weapon in his hand, he dreams that he is free.
Do you understand, sir?
That is what he wants. To have the weapon in his hand and dream that he is free. Cultured Roman matrons and street hoodlums take equal interest in these games. Army veterans look forward to nothing else but the public dole and the games. And 10,000 workless, homeless citizens live for no other apparent reason than to watch the games. Yet it is your wit against the gladiator's wit, because he is a devil. So you have to be a devil too.
And where do you find such men?
There is only one place where you can find them, the kind I want. Only one place. The mines of Nubia. It must be the mines.
See how the ribbon of green along the riverside has shrunk and withered.
See how the hills and mounds of the desert have turned to a finer and finer sand.
After you have passed that, you must strike out in the Nubian desert, which lies southward and eastward.
Here, there grows nothing at all. Not the dry, twisted, tough shrubbery of the rock desert.
Not the lonely tumbleweeds of the sand desert, but nothing at all.
Suddenly, the further aspect of hell appears. Black ridges, strange nightmarish black ridges.
Go toward the black stone, and you see that it is streaked through and through with veins of shining white marble.
Oh, how bright this world is! Oh, how clean and shining for heavenly luster!
The white marble is edged with gold.
That is why men come to this place.
That is why we are here, because the marble is rich and heavy with gold.
This gold goes back to Rome.
Chip and scratch at the surface and break the rock.
The slaves, chained neck to neck.
Who is your leader, Thracians?
It's too early for the whip, Thracians.
They call me father.
You are too young to be called father.
It is custom in our land. We have other customs here, father. When the child sins, the father is whipped. Do you hear me? I hear you.
Then listen, all of you Thracians. This is a bad place, but it can be worse. Much worse. When you live, we ask for work and obedience. And when you die, we ask for little.
In other places, it is better to live than to die.
But here, we can make it better to die than to live. Do you understand me, Father?
I understand you.
Now go, all of you, take your rations. We begin tomorrow, an hour before dawn.
When you hear the beating of the drums, that means it is time.
4 hours of work, then food, then 8 hours of work. Then you are allowed to rest.
Don't forget what we told you.
We take our food, wheat and barley food, we dry locusts.
We take our water, a bowl with less than a quart of water.
We enter the cave.
We can only enter the cave on our knees and elbows. We can lie down, we can sit, but we can never stand straight. It is always dark. Even a single ray of sunlight cannot enter the cave. The cave has never been clean. The filth of decades has rotted on its floor.
We slaves have not bathed since we are here, nor will we ever bathe again.
We get only 2 pots of water a day, but it is not enough.
The hammer weighs 18 pounds.
Each hour, there is a pound more of weight in the feel of the hammer.
There are no words to tell the torture of a man who swings such a hammer hour after hour.
And here, where water is so precious, we begin to sweat.
It oozes from our skin, runs from our forehead down into our eyes.
In this climate, to sweat is perish.
But the sweat will not stop, and the thirst becomes a savage, eating, terrible animal inside us.
4 hours and 30, 1 quart of water, 8 more hours of toiling. The whips begin to urge us on.
The soldiers don't use words, only whips. It is like an instrument. It can play music on the body of a man. Now, thirst is 10 times worse than before, but the water is gone.
And there will be no more water before the day's work is over.
When work in the mines is impossible for us.
Our body is brought out of the cave and into the desert.
A feast for the flies.
Such a day is eternity.
A week.
A month.
A year.
2 years! The hell of the mines of Nubia, the slaves of hell, the slaves of Rome, Koru, Spartacus!
How did Spartacus escape from that abyss?
He did not escape. No one escapes from such a place. I bought Spartacus out of there.
And who changed Spartacus? He did. The truly great fighting is that Capua. Go naked into the arena with a sword in hand and nothing else. Blood on the sand, and you can smell it as you walk in.
The trumpets are playing, the drums are beating, and the sun is shining down, and the ladies are waving their lace handkerchiefs and can't keep their eyes off of you. And they will all have thrills enough before the afternoon is done. I have my own arena for small shows and pairs. On request, of course.
He feeds the gladiators only the best. Whole wheat, barley, beef, and goat cheese.
Not to mention the women. And one day,
I would like a private showing of 2 pairs.
That can be arranged.
To the death.
What?
You heard me. I want 2 pairs, Thracians to the death.
Why? Why must it be to the death?
Because we prefer it.
That is no answer. Look. You ask for Thracians. I have the best Thracian play in the world.
But you will not see good play or good dagger work if you ask for the death. You know that as well as I do.
You pay your money,
And then, zoot, it's finished.
I can give you a day's play that will be nothing like you ever saw in Rome. My reputation is not as a butcher. I want to give you good fighting, the best fighting that money can buy.
We want good fighting, we want it to the death.
That's a contradiction.
To your way of thinking, you'd like to keep both my money and your gladiators. But when I pay for something, I buy it. I am buying 2 pairs to the death. If you don't wish to serve me, I can go elsewhere.
All right, it will cost you 25,000 denarii.
Very well. And I want no fakery, no double cuts for them both to suck the sand and pretend that they are over. If they are both down, one of your trainers will cut the throats of them both. And they are to understand that.
I understand. You will have to pay half the amount in advance.
Do you want to see the gladiators?
Can we?
Follow me.
Who do you want?
Draba,
Draba!
Polemus,
Polemus,
David,
David!
Spartacus.
Spartacus.
How do you like them?
All except that one with the broken nose. He doesn't look like a fighter.
Looks can be deceiving. That's Spartacus. He is very quick, very powerful, and very good. I chose him for a purpose. He is very good with the dagger.
Very well, but who will you match him with?
That man.
All right, I hope it's worth the price.
Sir, the dagger only has one keen edge. Once the dagger is in the net, the Thracian is finished.
It makes for bad blood in the school, sir. It's no match.
Let me worry about that. Go. Do what you're told. $25,000 for these filthy Roman vultures. At least it'll be the end of Spartacus. Whenever I see his face.
Spartacus,
What is it, Draba?
if the gods love you, you die in childhood.
No.
Do you believe in the gods?
No.
Do you believe that there is another place after we die here?
No.
Then what do you believe in, Spartacus?
I believe in you, and I believe in me.
You and me, we are meat on the butcher's table of the Lannister. I am too lonely, and too far from home, and too bitter for home. I don't want to live anymore. I will not fight you.
If we don't fight, we both die.
Then kill me. I am tired of living. I am sick of living. I am wedded to death.
My father was a slave, and he taught me the only virtue of a slave is to live.
You are my comrade. You are my friend.
Gladiator befriend no gladiator.
I have heard it 1,000 times. I have said it 1,000 times. 52 times I have fought with my net and spear and emerged alive. But now the cord that binds me to life has snapped. Spartacus, why is man born?
To live!
Is that the whole answer?
The only answer.
I don't understand your answer, Thracian.
Why, my friend? A child knows the answer the moment it comes out of the womb. It is such a simple answer. We live till death consumes us.
No answer for me. And my heart breaks for those who used to love me.
And others will love you.
No more! No more!
That was the first day when I saw Spartacus. The second day was the fight. But I couldn't see him properly. That man, he ruined everything for us. I can never forget that day.
The first fight was excellent. I have never seen a Thracian fight so well with a knife. But the second fight, terrible. I knew Demetrius couldn't keep his promise. That's why I kept half his money.
Why did he go crazy? Nobody seems to know the reason.
What can we do, sir? He just went crazy.
Crazy! How did he go crazy? That man has fought 52 fights. 52 gladiators died by his hands. But the 53rd time, he goes crazy. I feed you. I feed you the best. Roasts and fresh chickens and fish. I feed you until your belly swell out. I bathe you and I massage you. I took the lot of you from the mines and gallows, and here you live like kings and idleness on the fat of the land. There was nothing lower than what you were before you came here. But now, you lie in comfort and you eat the best. In the black heart of that dog, there was neither gratitude nor understanding. How many of you are like him? Pick me a man and bring me my blade. Now there will be no more trouble. The dogs will not even growl.
Gladiator befriend no gladiator.
One day, you will have no choice
But to kill that friend, to live. Slaves have nothing else to barter with. What do you see?
I will fight no more gladiators. That I know.
Dangerous words for a gladiator to utter.
They lead to two things: suicide or freedom. Freedom!
It is astonishing.
It is unbelievable. It is incredible. Words like these run like thunder through the spines of slaves.
Father, what will we do?
Who's talking there?
Want to stand up and speak?
Speak now.
I want to open my heart. But when I speak, there's no going back, and the traitors will try to stop me.
Silence! Speak now, Spartacus. They won't stop you.
Father, what will we do? Where will we go?
We will not run away. We will go from plantation to plantation, from house to house, and wherever we go, we will set the slaves free and add them to our numbers. When they send the soldiers against us, we will fight them, and the gods will decide whether they want it the Roman way or our way.
And weapons. What will we do for weapons?
Take them from the soldiers, and make them too. What is Rome but the blood and sweat and hurt of slaves? Is there anything we cannot make?
We will.
Then Rome will war against us.
Then we will go to war against Rome. We will make an end of Rome, and we will make a world where there are no slaves and no masters.
Spartacus!